Sometimes life takes everything from you, your dreams, your strength, your hope. But what if I told you that the only thing standing between you and success is just one more step? Daniel had one dream: to win the national marathon. Running wasn't just a sport for him. It was his passion, his escape, his life. Every morning before the sun rose, he trained. Every night before he slept, he visualized crossing the finish line, his arms raised in victory. He was young, fast, unstoppable. His coach, Mr. Reynolds, had trained many champions. But he saw something special in Daniel, an unbreakable will. "You have the heart of a champion," he would say, "but talent alone won't win the race. You need endurance, discipline, and the will to push through pain." Then one day everything changed. On his way home from training, a car lost control, and in an instant, Daniel's dreams shattered, along with his leg. The doctors gave him the worst news: "You may never run again." Those words echoed in his mind, drowning out every dream he ever had. The pain wasn't just physical, it was in his heart. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. He watched his teammates train, race, succeed, while he sat in a wheelchair, feeling useless, defeated. He wanted to quit. Maybe the doctors were right. Maybe it was over. One evening, his old coach, Mr. Reynolds, visited. He sat beside Daniel, silent for a moment, then finally spoke. "Do you remember what I told you? The body can break. But the heart is unbreakable. If you believe it's over, it is. But if you take just one step forward, you're still in the race." Something inside Daniel flickered, a small ember of hope. The next day, he tried to stand. It was painful, his legs felt weak. But he took one step, then another. Rehab was brutal. Every movement felt impossible, but he pushed through. Every morning, every night he trained, not to win, not to be the fastest, but just to move forward. A year later, Daniel did the unthinkable. He signed up for the national marathon, not as a competitor, but as a runner. "I don't need to win," he told himself, "I just need to finish." The starting gun fired, runners sprinted forward, leaving him behind. His pace was slow, his steps uneven. Pain shot through his body with every movement, but he refused to stop. Mile after mile, his body begged him to quit, but every time doubt crept in, he heard his coach's voice in his head. One more step. Near the final stretch, his legs gave out. He collapsed to the ground. The crowd gasped. Medics rushed toward him, but Daniel lifted a hand, stopping them. With tears in his eyes, he pushed himself up. One last time. The crowd, silent at first, erupted into cheers. "Daniel! Daniel!" They chanted his name, urging him forward. He took one more step, then another, and another, until he crossed the finish line. He didn't win the race, but in that moment, he won something greater: respect, admiration, and proof that the human spirit is unbreakable. Music peaks, then softens. Life will knock you down. It will break you, test you, make you believe you can't go on. But remember this: success isn't about how fast you run, it's about refusing to stop. You don't have to win every race. You don't have to be the best. You just have to take